They have a new head coach. Bob Chesney is in charge. This is his first official signing day. Kenneth Moore, one of the big names that they're bringing in from high school. He's an in-state kid from California. He's a wide receiver. And if you look at the transfers that are coming in, UCLA has an awful lot. 41 guys from the transfer portal. Only 2 teams in the country have more. And Bob Chesney, the new head Bruin, joins us now to talk about this and other things. Bob, you've never been a West Coast guy. How does that affect you as you try to bring in players to UCLA?
Well, I think right at the beginning, you had to have a good understanding, of what you know and what you don't know. And for me, it was certainly that idea that we have not had a lot of success recruiting out here in my past. So I knew we had to diversify the staff, and I knew that we had to make sure that our recruiting department, was leveled out that way as well. So that's some things we were able to do when we put this all together. I think, Derek Ray is phenomenal as our GM, and then I thought our recruiting department was really good. How does any relationship, begin? It's got to start, right? And where does it start? It's got to begin. And I think that's really it. So I made sure that there were my boots specifically on the ground, and that I covered as much ground as I possibly can from all over LA through, the Trinity League and a lot of others, and then got myself into the public schools, and then got out to Hawaii and got out to Seattle and Arizona, and just spent some time in spots that I hadn't previously been. I think that's really what I needed to do. And I thought we had a lot of people with a lot of connections that are present on the staff that helped with that and pointed me in the right directions and allowed me to get out there and start those relationships.
Well, and some relationships on this upcoming team this fall will be with guys you've known from JMU who are joining you. Talk to me about some of these guys. Let's start with Sayer West. Why did you want him coming with you?
Yeah. Well, Sayer is a very productive football player. He's only a freshman at this point in time, a redshirt freshman, so he still has 3 years remaining. We just watched his work as we went through it at JMU, and he just kept getting better and better and better as the year went on. He's 6'4", 275. I think he was 77 pounds, the other day. He'll probably end up at 80, 85, something like that. And he won't diminish at all in quickness and aggression and speed and strength. He's just a complete package right now. So he stops the run. He also is able to, be a threat in the pass game. His motor doesn't stop. And he's just sort of the definition of what we want as far as efforts and everything else come with it on the defensive line.
We got to see that Wayne Knight proved in the playoff he can play well against future Big Ten competition.
Yeah, no doubt. And he's as productive as they come as well in that position. And he did such a good job. He keeps his pads low, as you're watching on this video right here. He's fast. He can protect in the pass game. He's a home run threat at all times. He's just a player that, we knew, could do it all. Catches the ball out of the backfield, just does a great leader, a great young man, and just as competitive as can be.
There's a freshman QB named DJ Bordeaux. What do you like in him?
I like a lot in DJ Bordeaux. DJ's young, as you just mentioned. He won't be with us until the summer, so he's got to finish his schooling. But, the kid can make every throw. It's effortless for him. He can also pull the ball down and run. He diagnoses defenses really well, has a great understanding of that. He can drive the ball down the middle of the field. He can throw the field, out. He can, just understand the complexity that goes into the coverages and the conversions of the routes, and he keeps himself alive. I think the most, the best quarterbacks that you're seeing in today's game, have that play after the play, the one that you really can't defend, the one you can't really define, and it just shows up when it shows up, and he's one of the best at that.
You have been tasked with turning around programs before multiple times, and you've done it every time. Give me the 1 or 2 things you've learned that worked well that you're going to do your very best to implement here at UCLA.
I think one of the biggest things about when a team's not winning and when a team's losing is ultimately why are they losing? And I think that, when you have sort of a short-term history or a long-term history in some places I've been of losing, it ultimately comes down to, you got to first stop doing those things that the losing teams do. So there's just little things and low-hanging fruit and understanding the attention to detail and understanding every little thing you do matters. Those are all really, really important things. And I think our guys are starting to, get the the grasp of that, is that the locker room looks cleaner, the weight room looks cleaner, the way they speak to each other is better. They take their headphones off when they walk in this room. They communicate. They come up and sit with their coaches. They spend time, loving football and ultimately living football. And I think that's, this isn't a thing that they have to do when they have to come up here to go to practice or do anything else. They get to do that. And I think that's a big difference.
Bob Chesney, the new man at UCLA. Congratulations on the job and your first signing day here in the Big Ten. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
In breaking down their players, let's first start with Wayne Knight, not just to say, hello, Jerry, but also to point out how good this guy was in the biggest games. In the Sun Belt title game, he ran for 211 yards. In the college football playoff game against Oregon, he ran for 110.
Yeah, don't let the size fool you. This is a productive running back, over 1,300 yards at a clip of 6.6 yards per carry. He can make plays. He's hard to tackle. You don't know where he's going to be, and those legs keep moving. If you look at his lower body, the power that he has to be able to make these plays and not let one tackler bring him down is a big reason he's so productive, and I expect him to put up some huge numbers for UCLA. They're going to want to run the football. Cal Johnson, you think about a guy that brings 34 starts to you, has also played the nickel position. He's a guy that brings a lot of versatility. You see him coming downhill to be able to make plays, being able to diagnose things is going to be important, and be able to lead that defense, be able to really set the tempo. He's that type of person, being able to take the ball away twice, too.
Huge need in the transfer portal was wide receiver at UCLA. And Mike, you might say they signed a bunch of them.
Nice.
All back in number. Samaj Morgan, somewhat maligned at Michigan, but they forget, he had 69 catches throughout his Michigan career, also served as a punt returner, so he brings experience. It's basically going to be a completely different wide receiver room at UCLA. One of the high school wide receivers they signed was Kenneth Moore. With the number of transfers coming in, I don't know if he's a first-year impact guy, but he's certainly a future impact guy. Another guy who touched the ball in a number of different ways, including as a return man. Track guy, ran 10.75 in the 100-meter dash. Committed early. We had this theme throughout this show. Committed early, stuck with UCLA through several changes.
By the way, Chesney, when you chat with him, that's an impressive dude.
Yeah, he's got
right?
something going for himself, doesn't he?
It does feel like he might be that guy to get the train back on the tracks for UCLA.